So what I wanted to show here, we got one contract left on TF, the Russell, is the open of the, if you recall, I'm going to back step for just a second here to the open of the market, which was over here, 6:30 Pacific. You can see that we came out of a kind of a little bit of what was a downtrend pre-market down here. And then right pre-market 6 o'clock Pacific on the equities, all the equities kind of did this. They had a little bottoming action down here. See that? And this was actually the trend change. The trend change occurred on the Russell right around 794.50. Right as it came up and it broke this level right here. See, the guidance dots were short. So you were thinking short, and then it came up and hit its head right around the open. Did a little pullback here. See, it hit its head just for 794.50, and then boom, up she went. So the long entry was actually right here earlier in the morning, right after the open. You would have trailed your stop, trailed your stop, trailed your stop. There's some questions earlier about how do I know to stay in a trade. Here you can see the green stealth line. The stop dots were keeping you long, 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 and I stopped out of this trade somewhere right in here. Right as it came back through here, I got out. And then we were watching these retraces. All the equities pulled back very nicely. Notice how you got support. Remember we said 796.90 right in here? See how it pulled back real nice, very nicely, got support in here? And this was your buy. So you got a resumption of buying. This is what we call a resumption of buying in an uptrend. Right in here. See this circle? This was your entry right in here. See the retracement? Nice retracement. This was the first probe retracement after a trend change. Those tend to be very high likelihood trades. They generally work out pretty well, particularly given the fact that you had good confluence amongst all of the equities. Russell, the EMD was heading up. NASDAQ was heading up. Everything was heading up. So you had nice confluence. Now, there's a couple of ways to manage your stops as far as this trade is concerned. A more aggressive stop posture would be to put it up in here. If you wanted to get out quickly and bank the profit, you could do a couple of things. You can box the trade in. So you've got another pivot right up in here at 6/8. Right up in here, see it? So what you can do, in fact, I'm actually going to do this right now, is you can box it in. You can put a target up here, just shy of the pivot. So if it bips up one more pop, you're going to get out, and then we're going to tighten the stop up. So we're going to box the trade in. Boxing it in. Right? So what's going to happen is either we're going to get a continuation up here to close the trade, like such, or it's going to pull back precipitously through this little shelf of support like that and take us out. Yeah, this was just pretty much across the board on the equities. That was just textbook probe trades. Here was our trend change right around the open, the cash equity markets. Pushed up, pulled back, up we go, thrust. Nice trade. Stayed in it, stopped out. Patiently waited for the retracement to occur. Here we have support. Everything bounced very nicely. Resumption of buying. We jump in. And I've already taken profit on several contracts, so I'm just trailing one. Might get one more bip up. I see EMD is pushing higher. Trading EMD. I'm gonna let me do this. Let me drag that chart over real quick. We'll put it on the side and watch it too while we watch this trade pan out. Give me 1 second. Drag EMD over. Very similar looking chart, only it was actually more aggressive in how it moved. Here's the EMD chart. Mid cap 400, $10 a tick. Here was your breakout, right? Same when they all broke out. Look how nicely this ran, though. Yeah, nice breakout right there through 3/8 pivot, 959. Up she went. You're going to take it up. Going to hit our target. Here we go. Don't get too greedy now. Don't get too greedy. Come on, one more little bit. See, here was your yellow probe on EMD. Notice how it did not retrace quite as deeply right in here. You're going to get it. Come on, little buddy. 2 more ticks. Missed it. Nah. Got a little too greedy there. I'm going to drag that down. Let it fill.
That's because Rich sold his 50 contracts.
Yeah, he got 4,000 contracts at 804 and change. Yeah, so here was your yellow probe on EMD over here. Had this nice retracement. Came into that 6/8 pivot. Remember we were saying 64.80. Watch this little support. It didn't retrace quite as deeply as the Russell, which pulled all the way back in here. I'm going to take the stop up now. Let's box it in a little. I'm going to box it in a little tighter. Get it up under stealthy here. Yeah, so here was your initial thrust off the trend change. Right here, you can see that was your long trade on EMD. We got a nice probe trade retracement. And then, you know, you could make the case that the resumption of buying occurred on EMD as it came up through the 7/8 pivot right in here. It was a good long entry right in there. Anywhere in here between 66 and 66.80 was a good re-entry. Some of you took that. We were observing it live in the room. And now you'd have, if you were trailing a stop on EMD, a good stop would be somewhere just under that pivot right there if you want to give it some wiggle room. But at some point, you got to think these things are going to run out of gas. I mean, from top to bottom here, you're looking at, was that 150 ticks today? 957 to 72? Yeah, about 150 ticks. But, you know, they've been pushing these markets up. I'm going to box this in a little tighter on the Russell here. Coming back. Here's our stop. Going to get us. Take it up stealthy. Pull this down tighter. Boxing it in. Going to get one or the other. We're going to pop one or the other. Andrea, I see a question about the pivots. You're going to see a slight variation in the pivots from day to day. Sometimes they line up. Sometimes they don't. It's we usually, I wouldn't focus too much on the exact numbers of the pivots. What we do like about use of the pivots is that it gives this chart some form and structure. In other words, you can kind of, sometimes it lines up pretty nicely. Here's a good example here. See where it lines up with some good resistance right in here? This 5/8 pivot right here. See it? Then pull back right into support right here. See it? Some days are a little better than others. You know, some days the support and resistance lines up pretty nicely, and you can get some nice form and structure to your chart off the pivots. Other days, not so much. But that's the real value in using and trading from pivot to pivot in the direction of the trend when you have a nice trending day like this. All right, we're boxing it in. And let's see if you're still long EMD. Like I said, good stop would be right in here. Trailing stop. Just under that pivot right there. Right there. Now we're going to get it. One more tick. Just can't do it. We need one more bip up here. Come on, Roosty. I'm going to tighten the noose. Tighten it, box. Come on, Roost Eye. We need the pop either way. Yeah, somebody's up here selling 9,000 contracts, holding the lid on it. Counter trend short. Come on, Roosty. You can do it. You know you can do it. Yeah, so it's good to see the markets break out and run like this. You know, nice runs, nice trending days. Earlier this week, we had quite a bit of chop. You know, just kind of went sideways. Makes it tough to trade when the market's just kind of sideways. You know, no clear trend. But I guess the takeaway, the point we're trying to make here is that, you know, if you miss this earlier trade at the open, and I know, well, just took it. All right, we're out. There you go. Always remember to close your stops. That trade's done. There you go. What was left of it? All right, any questions on the probe trades after the trend change, the open on the equities today? Trend change, breakout, run, probe, retracements in the direction of the trend, a little fall on 40, 50 tick move. Nice popper. All right, that's all I had to show here today. I can bit back over to you if you want, Gary. Stop.